This is Stu, just coming to you with a video whilst I'm slumping out here in my chair. And thought I'd just share some thoughts with you. I've been kind of just relaxing here, reflecting on last week. I've been doing some work this morning and really thinking about the elite call yesterday and thinking about some conversations I had with some members last week. I just reached out to some different members in the community, mainly folks that are, really busting their balls to make stuff happen. I can see they are. And I reached out to them, had some conversations, and a couple of the people I spoke to are really struggling to really get any momentum. One of the individuals I spoke to has been really working solidly for 6 months. They've had one application sale and one other affiliate sale in another product, which totaled to a whopping $50 in commissions so far for 6 months of seriously hard work. And that can't be easy. That's not something that's easy. And I want to recognise each and every one of you who can relate to any of that. Busting your balls to make stuff happen and just really struggling. But you just keep going and you keep going and you don't quit. And there's not much more than I can say other than I just respect that so much. Jay and I can't even begin to tell you how much we want our students to succeed. We're really involved with this on an emotional level with our students, particularly with the video challenge that's been going on, getting to know new people coming in, people's reasons why. I just think we attract an amazing type of person to our community, individuals who are always, on a mission to not just serve others, but, create a better life for their family. And their why for doing this is usually, very admirable. And, I can relate to that so much now, but, when I started, I was 26 years old and, my why was just really to make money and quit my job. And I feel like I want to see our students succeed, and I think they deserve to succeed so much more than what I did, if I'm honest with you. But the reason I talk about this and share this thought with you is I can't tell you enough how much I believe that everybody can succeed in this industry. And that's what I really want to talk to you about, because I've seen it so many times where people struggle and struggle and struggle, and then all of a sudden things start coming together and they start making sales and they start getting an advertising budget going and it starts snowballing, and they maintain focus. I've also seen people that have got momentum, got focus, made lots of money, and then gone into lots of other different ventures and become some serious entrepreneurs. And I've also seen people that have come in and made a load of money, and then kind of for whatever reason gone into self-destructive mode and lost it all and had to start again. So I've seen a wide range of different things happen over the years. But the point I want to make in this video really is that I feel that so many people overcomplicate what it takes to actually succeed when it comes to just talking about making money, okay, just the financial side. Success, I think under the success umbrella, there's a lot of ways that we can look at it, and I am just purely talking about financial success. There's some students of ours who are incredibly successful, in my opinion, in so many areas of their life, just not financially, and that's what they're working on, and I can understand that. But the reality is, this is what I was saying on the elite call, making money on the internet is about lead generation. It's about generating leads every single day, consistently and persistently. And if you really want to maximize the money that you make out of those leads, it's exactly what I said on the elite call. It's about following up with those leads, providing value to those leads, and converting them into sales. And what we talked about on the elite webinar is how to do that. So I'm not going to go into that on this video through, connecting with people on an emotional level and stories and broadcasting, emails, blogging, etc., etc. The point that I want to make is that just from the conversation I was having last week, even with some students who are getting some pretty good results right now, but just maybe not scaling up as fast as they want to, is that two things I saw that came up time and time again. The first thing is just spending way too much time being busy, as I said on the elite call as well, being busy fools, you know. I'd talk to people about how many hours they're sort of sat in front of their computer, and many of them spending more time in front of a computer than I do. And I'm talking about online. I mean, I do spend a lot of time offline on the computer, writing copy, editing slides, creating content, and also when I'm dealing with the team and I'm on Skype and everything else, you know, that can take a lot of hours. But when I'm actually working on, you know, money producing stuff, let's say, particularly in the past when that's all I focused on, yeah, I didn't ever really spend too much time dicking around on the internet all over the place. There was about a 6-month period in 2009 when I did, but I recognised it and kind of put a stop to it. And what I want to say to you is, if you have the big enough vision to succeed, if you want to be successful financially and you want to make this work, and I'm specifically talking about this business model, affiliate marketing, then you need to ask yourself a couple of questions. Now, the first question is, are you doing the work? Be honest with yourself. Are you doing the work? Are you doing the lead generation? Are you busting your balls to generate leads? Not are you sat in front of a computer and telling yourself you're doing work because you're sat in front of a computer. Are you doing the work that's going to make you money? Are you focusing on the money producing activities? I, again, on the elite call, referred to the fact that I believe anybody should be generating 10 leads a day, every day, really from their second or third month in the industry. I understand the first couple of months is stuff to learn, setting up autoresponders, attending webinars and everything else. But once you pick one strategy, whether that be Facebook paid advertising, whether that be blogging and distributing content through networks, Google+, Facebook, Twitter, etc., building your following out, you know, connecting with individuals, whether it be doing solo ads and building your list that way, you only need to pick one. And my advice would be just pick one until you can at least consistently make one application sale a week, every week. So first goal should be 10 leads a day, every day, and then you should be focusing on sales. Okay, there's no point in just focusing on leads, because leads are a waste of time if they're not making you any money. Again, something I alluded to on the webinar is don't over obsess open rates and click-through rates and everything else. Monitor it, keep an eye on it so you know stuff is happening, but don't over obsess about it, because at the end of the day you can obsess about, people obsess about that stuff all the time, and then you get to the crux of it and they're not making any sales anyway. So they're fussing over stuff, and I understand that there's this idea of, well, maybe I'm not making sales because my open rates aren't high enough, or maybe this, that and the other. But honestly, nearly all the time it's not to do with that. It's to do with not generating quality leads, or not persistently and consistently following up with those leads. That is really all you have to do as a marketer, as an affiliate, is generate leads and follow up with them. And I can tell you in 2009, that is literally all I did. For a couple of hours a day, traveling around the world, I would focus on making sure I spent maybe 45 minutes setting up ad campaigns, tweaking ad campaigns. I was always doing paid advertising then, creating content, whether it be a video, whether it be a blog post, whether it be email copy, and boom, sending it out to my list of subscribers, and then I'd be off on my way, trotting around on an elephant in Thailand, or out on a kayak in the ocean, or flying on a seaplane to the Maldives. And most of my time was, you know, enjoying myself for what I wanted at that point in my life. I never had a gap year, or I never kind of took time out after college. I obviously dropped out of college and got a job. So for me, that was my year. That was my year of just sort of breaking free and enjoying myself in luxury. And, you know, it was cool. But as you know, many of you know my story, it gets boring, you know, living a semi-retired lifestyle at 27 or whatever I was. Yeah, not much more I can say than it's not that great. It sounds a lot better than what it is. And, you know, the thing that I want to leave you with in this video is, like I said, number one, are you doing the work, or are you doing the wrong work? And the second thing that I want you to really think about is, how how much are you how much pressure are you, putting on yourself to make this happen? Okay, now what I mean more specifically is that so many people duck in and duck out, dive in and dive out of their business. Work hard one day, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and boom, get frustrated, annoyed, make up a load of excuses why they should take, a step back, busy at work, or relationship problems, or whatever else, and and then just kind of like a few weeks later think, damn, I want to make this business work, and getting pissed off at work again, I'm going to do it. In other words, not being consistent. And I want you to ask yourself that, like, how consistent are you being with your efforts? Because if you're not going to succeed. If you're not consistent, you're not going to succeed. It's as simple as that. I had this really frank conversation with a great member of ours, and I said to him, I'm not going to say who it is, but I said to him, look, there's no reason for you to have success right now. Everything that you've just told me is not acting like a professional. You don't hear about professional tennis players who, win one game and then just kind of like chill out for 6 months and then expect to come back and win another tournament, or golf or soccer player or anything like that. They are consistent and persistent with their efforts, their training, the work they put in. Same with their job. You can't just rock up Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday and then decide, nah, I don't feel like work, I'm going to take Thursday and Friday off. And then I might go back in on Monday if I feel like it. No, because you'd lose your job. Yet, people won't turn up for their businesses like they will for their jobs, or they will for the things that they really enjoy, the sports or the hobbies or whatever else. One of the guys, the same guy that I was speaking to, spends 6 hours on a golf course every Saturday, 4 hours going round, a couple of hours having lunch and everything else. We talked about that because we were trying to find extra time that he could put into his business, and I told him, dude, quit golf for 6 months. He didn't like it. If you haven't got enough time to build your business, you need to find the time. If not, don't bother trying to build it. It's as simple as that. In this particular example, in all fairness, he's got 1 hour to 2 hours every evening. But I said, you want this as much as you're telling me, that's not enough time. It's not enough. When I was working 70 hours a week and building my business, I got like 4 hours sleep a night. And I'm not recommending anybody does that. But that's what I did to quit my job in 6 months. And I didn't go out, I wasn't spending money going out, I wasn't having food out, I was taking lunch to work to save money so I could put it into my business and not accumulate any more debt than what I already had, because that's what it took. I wasn't just lucky, I didn't stumble across an internet magic loophole. I built my list of subscribers, I followed up with them, and I promoted offers, and that's what I did. In fact, it was even more straightforward than that, if I'm honest with you. My first 6 months, I wasn't even really list building. I was placing ads and driving leads to my offers, to my affiliate links. Every day, for every spare hour that I had. And all of a sudden, boom, 6 months later, I'm working 12 hours a day on my business because I have the luxury of quitting my job and spending all of my time working on something for me. And that should be your primary goal if that's what you're here to do. If you're here to replace your income and be self-sufficient, you should do the same, in my opinion. You should be finding the time to put into your business. Now, the frustration that I think most people experience is with themselves, and I think it's because they know that they're spending loads of time on their business being a busy fool, and they wouldn't feel half as bad if they knew they were creating killer videos, creating killer blog posts, writing killer emails, spending time building their list, excited to get up the next day to send out the content that they've got prepared, making sure that they've got a blog post going up every single day without fail, 7 days a week, And this stuff doesn't even take that much time. This is the point I want to make. It doesn't. It might take more when you're first getting started and you're trying to create a system for everything. But you know, once you really create that habit, which I'm going to be doing with the group of individuals who I'm working with, or that were on the elite call, it becomes effortless. It becomes natural, and you no longer have to feel that frustration of beating yourself up because you know you're being a busy fool, because you get it down pat. You know, you just get really good at the process. And anybody can do all of this stuff. That's the thing. That's what I keep coming back to when I think about this industry, and when I think about what we're doing, and when I think about the promises that we're making, that people can change their life by building an online business. You know, I'm not going to go to bed at night telling anybody anything that I don't believe that they can do. I'm just not that type of person. So when I do hear of struggles, and I do hear of people, like, you know, almost at the verge of giving up, I hate to hear it, because it makes me question everything for a moment. It makes me question everything. It's like, can these individuals actually succeed, or do we need to be more honest with these people? And then I just come back to the same thing that I'm talking to you about right now, and it's like, there is no reason why these people can't succeed. There is no reason. There really is no reason. Yes, okay, some people might be naturally better on video. Some people might be better at writing content. But at the end of the day, it's about building a list and following up with those subscribers. And if that is a struggle at first, give it 30 days, give it 60 days. It's not going to be that difficult. It really isn't. So I want to beat you guys up right now if you're relating to the stuff that I'm saying. And I want you to give yourself a kick up the arse and start making shit happen. Start putting in the effort. Start holding yourself accountable. Wake up every day focused on building your business, getting out of your dead-end job if that's what you're in, giving your wife a better life, providing more things for your kids. If this is the reasons why you're doing what you're doing, and I don't care if it's to drive a bloody Lamborghini, if that's why you're doing it and that's the reason you wake up every day dreaming of having an online business, stop dreaming about it and start making it happen. Alright guys, I've got nothing else to say. I'm glad I got it off my chest. I really can't tell you how much Jay and I want you to succeed with SFM, with the community, with your future business. But there is only so much we can do. We're going to keep improving what we're doing. We're going to keep creating more funnels. We're going to keep making the system better. But everything you need is already there, with or without SFM. With or without SFM, there's tons of affiliate products out there. If this is the industry that you've chosen to start off with, to actually become self-sufficient, everything that you possibly need is there. The rest really does come down to you. You know, you've probably learned in the first 3-4 modules everything that you need to do to build an affiliate business. So I'm going to end this rant. I'm going to go and have a beer, actually, meeting up with a friend, and calm down, and just can't wait till next week as I start working with some of you elite members in the group. Take care.